To it. Sorry it's late. I'm going to do this in a bit of a rush because I've just been invited to a Zoom meeting. So I'm going to wrap this one up rather quickly. My name's Karen Griffith. Hopefully you know me by now if you've been following my lives or videos on Facebook, Instagram, or uploaded to YouTube. What I do, I'm a coach. I coach around all the good things around wellness, happiness, and mental fitness. I decided to talk about how are you investing your time, a line of inquiry, because it's going to lead to a place that I believe, and I know many others do as well, that is critical if you want, this is if you want it and your willingness to do what it takes to get there. If you want to do better, be better, have better, and also experience in your life more abundance. As I mentioned, you're manifesting all the time. It may be that you're not necessarily manifesting what you desire, want. You're not necessarily tapping into your potential. So without further ado, I'm going to crack on because, like I said, I haven't got much time. So I like to think I offer a lot in terms of way to look at things, also share some of my experiences and give you some evidence-based practical stuff you can do. Anything deeper will require me to have a conversation with you. And I do recognise, because I'm seeing it reflective, how there is consumption of my content, and that's okay, but understand the limitations of what it will offer you. And I can't stress this enough. I haven't got to where I've gotten without coaching, without experiencing some sort of professional support or investment in myself to learn. I'm no longer sharing everything. I'm not going to be as free because with everything, nor should I, because at the end of the day, I don't expect things for free. I work with people that know a lot more than I do, can help me with areas of development and do guide me in the right direction. And it takes investment, and recognising that will hold you in really good stead, especially if you're wondering why you're not getting the results, or you're perhaps, I would offer, creating excuses or blame game while you're not getting what you're not getting. It does require something more than just consuming content. Anyway, so I've spent 2 minutes going off track, so I'm going to get back on track now. So I mentioned the question, how are you investing your time? Because if you really want to experience more fulfillment, a more meaningful life, it's going to require something. It's going to require you give up things, work on things, relearn, unlearn, learn. I think I may have said that. So without further ado, and I've said that for the second or third time, I'm going to start off with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. It's somebody I watched on YouTube, And I absolutely loved it. It was so fitting because I've never heard this statement by him before. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do is in harmony. And in a nutshell, what that is saying, or what Mahatma Gandhi is quite eloquently saying, is it's a state of alignment, which means, for me, the meaning I'm taking away from it, because I'm not going to give you the definition, I've not had time to look at alignment, maybe for another live, but it means spending your time on the people, places, things that truly matter and are meaningful. So it's worthwhile spending your time finding out what it is you want to create, bring alive in what is it you want to experience, because that's a you thing. And I get now, even with all the work I do, why so many people shy away from it, because it does take accountability, responsibility, and ownership, striving to be better, to do better, to have better, to step into your purpose, and to do so apologetically. So the way I view people that I know, that I see doing the things, and also the people that I also observe that are talking, but they're still in the same place, saying the same thing, is quite distinct for me. So I thought it'd be worthwhile sharing that what it takes is minimalising or eliminating. Sorry, what it takes is minimising or eliminating the time on things that are not important, do not matter. Now, there's time management tools that are available. I'm going to hand that off to you, because I think that's stuff now, because like I said, I'm moving on now in terms of the stuff I've learned. And this is where I'm going to give you ownership, where you can research that. I'm not going to hand everything, because again, I also think with freeness comes entitlement, and there's an expectation that everything should be free when it's not. My time is valuable, so I'm going to treat it as such, which is why I'm going to make some more decisions about how I share my content and where I share it. So I'm letting you know that's going to happen. So consideration should always be, because it's fact, your time is not replenishable. There are 365 is there? Oh my God, my brain stopped. You've got a year, 365. Oh my God, my brain. Sorry, this is embarrassing, but I'm going to roll with it. I should really know this, but my brain's just decided to. Yeah, sorry. I lost confidence in what I was saying, which was interesting for me doing this live. So that's a learning curve for me. But basically, there's 352 days in a year, 52 weeks in the year, 52 weeks, 7 days, 24 hours, right? Well, why am I sharing that? It's just a reminder that the clock is ticking, and being purposeful about where your attention, because it is your currency, is going, and how you're spending your resources. When I talk about resources, they're not only the external, it's not just money. it is not just money, and I have mentioned what resources are: time, energy, attention, and it's very much linked to, and again, I've shared this on previous lives, what energizes you, what drains you, they are very linked. And if you're being constantly drained, you're going to find yourself operating from a state of survival, in survival mode, and you can't get out of it. It ends up being a cycle because there's patterns there's cycles that need to be break, and there's patterns of behaviour you need to take responsibility for, because that's on you to break it, irrespective of other people's actions. Put that aside, really take a close look, a deeper look at what's going on with you, and I can help with that through conversation, through doing a program. It doesn't necessarily have to be ongoing. It could be a one and done. I say one and done. It could be a one-time conversation, or it could be an ongoing conversation because there's more there to be worked on. So when you take a look at that, it's a starting point of problem solving. And I'm going to give you more here in terms of Pareto principle, Pareto law, is how I learned it, which is 80% of your results come from 20% of causes. The relevant of that is you need to understand how, on what you are spending your time and the investment you're getting back. Because if it's 20% if you're spending too much time doing the wrong things, or not right for you, not in alignment, it's not in harmony with who you are, it's not in line with your values, you're going to end up drained, overwhelmed, possibly depressed, full of anxiety, operating from your past person, and I really don't want that for you. So I hope you heed some of the warning there. So I've mentioned this on other lives, so again, I'm not going to go into it now. You've got to deal with your distractions, your fears, your addictions, your codependency. We're all coping. The levels of copes, the unhealthy copes, it's learning to address those, and that takes time. So I offer you empathy and compassion in that process as you think about how you're showing up in ways that could be detrimental to your well-being, because it's driving your impulsivity and reactivity, another area I've already gone into. So the invitation is to really examine yourself and be reflective and introspective, so that you can start to have some understanding of what your personal problems are, to start solving them and seek professional help. Because there is a tendency to go for quick fixes, magic pill, and I know this can be because you're paying attention to things, or maybe gathering loads of information from different sources, and there's this push-pull going on, and a lot of what you're doing for yourself could be forced, but not actually reliant on having a mirror or asking the right questions, or having having the right questions asked of you, which is what coaching is, part of it anyway, to bring up what needs to come up to the surface so you could take a closer look at it. Because what seems very insignificant can be very important. I know this is true for me. When you take a closer look and you're like, now I see what I need to see. Because until you see it, you're blind to it, and it really impacts the way that you view your reality, your perspective of things. So, and also the decisions you're making, the choices, because it's all on you. And when you take responsibility, accountability for your part, then you recognise how and what to pull away from. So, take it as a tool, journal for at least 2 weeks how you invest your time, and ask yourself serious questions about your return of investment if you were going to treat it like a bank account. Because if there's more going out than what's going in, then that's a place to look. And also a hard truth is that you need to let go of the BS. Your BS. Other people's, yeah, I get it. But yours. And that requires radical honesty, which a lot of people are not honest about. They're not honest about where they are, who they are, because they don't actually know. And that is detrimental when you're not seeing reality as it really is. You're not seeing the what isness. Obviously, there's nuances to it, but when you get a handle of yourself and your BS, you're better able to read the world that you live in and understand the world you're living in is not normal, and deal with your chaos, because the world is shifting really quickly, led by technology, especially with AI. And I'm already seeing serious job losses. I'm seeing serious hardships coming about. Serious hardships. And because people are not being honest and are living in an illusional state, it's going to cause what we're already seeing. I don't know how to express it, but it's going to create a whole lot of stuff coming up. So I'm like to think, and other people that I'm following that know more than me, that it's preparation that I'm inviting you to take ownership of, take responsibility for your life, and to do so now as quickly as possible. Because if you're not exercising self-control, you are being controlled by others. And the hard truth is, we are all under a level of control. And until you see it, you can't detach from how it looks for you to be able to discover what you need to discover to make the necessary changes. Because you can't change what you're not aware of. That is fact. So, and we live in an exploitive, manipulative world, and there's a lot more people that are. It is what it is, but you can protect yourself from that by taking a real look at yourself, a hard look at yourself, and being accepting that you don't have to tolerate certain things. And which is why, link back to journaling, you can give yourself some space to address certain things, which is why I'm also going to invite you to really take a look, a mirror to anger and resentments, because they're all impacting your reality. It's all impacting your choices and decisions, and how you relate to the world around you, your impact on self and others. And when you have a better understanding on yourself and then also your impact on others, and you can see it more, you will operate from a different space, because not dealing with it, you're limited, you're fixed, you're rooted. Think about a tree. A tree is rooted. Its purpose is to clean up. It does a lot. Trees do wonderful things, but they can't move. You can move. Always remember, you can move. You can choose to do differently, think differently, reframe past experiences. You can heal traumas. You can look at your beliefs, change your beliefs. You can improve your thoughts by being aware of what you're thinking about and adopting appropriate thinking styles when there's negative stuff coming up for you. So I hope that makes sense, because I've covered that, so I'm not going to cover that right now. So I've gone into it more than I planned to. So in actual fact, it's faulty programming, conditioning, societal expectation, all the shit, basically. Sift it out, because we've all got it. We've all got this stuff going around. But when you start to deal with yourself more and more and spend time and create space so that you are being more mindful, moving away from mindlessness, taking yourself off of autopilot, you will improve your life. It might not happen overnight, because this takes work. It's been about four years since I started learning being a coach. Prior to that, I probably was working, I think it was 2016, 2017, 2018. I'm trying to remember. So it's been 8 years solidly. And for me, I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper, but I'm also going more wider because of my perspective shifts. And the more I know is the more I realise I don't know. But I'm getting the right teacher coming up because I'm ready to experience what I need to experience. I also deal with the stuff that needs to be dealt with, because I have admitted on previous lives how I didn't want to deal with myself. I understand a lot of why that is now. But when you spend time on yourself, you're giving yourself permission to step into a more meaningful life, which is purposeful and gifting, because this is your life, not anybody else's. So the end goal, really, or the goal, and it's ongoing, is self-mastery. So it requires, I've spoken to this previously, presence. I don't talk about it as much, but I like to think I demonstrate this aspect: determination, resilience. Sorry, not resilience, because that's, I'm talking about masculine traits. Willpower, logic, rationale. Working on those things will help with self-mastery, self-leadership. And when you do the work of overcoming default behaviours, whatever that looks like for you under challenge, acknowledging your set point. What I mean by that is, where are you in terms of happiness? Where are you in terms of where are you in terms of joy, where you are in terms of what's important to you? Because when you acknowledge your set point, it's a kick-off point. Because it's you are where you are, let that be okay. Everything I'm sharing with you today, you can learn, but it takes time, which requires investment, and then financial investment if you want to work more deeply. Stopping self-sabotaging behaviours, addressing unhealthy copes, because we're all coping. It's just taking a look and acknowledging what those are for you and being honest about it. And seeking help. Therapy, there's so many modalities that can help with that. Some modalities work, some don't. Just try to find out what will work for you by talking to people, but also having the experience. Identifying your thought patterns. So what does it look like? Self-mastery. Doing it even on the days you don't feel like it. Being consistent and committed. Consistency is key. Letting it go when it's not working. Discernment. Detachment from outcomes, from it looking a certain way. Embracing failure. Reframing experiences. Telling yourself a different story rooted in reality. So, I'm going to mention a couple of resources. One, I think, I've mentioned resources, but one book resource, David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. He's the modern day, I would say. He definitely exhibits, and I'm only just started his book, found it really interesting, love what he's done so far. the style. I've got the Audible book. Sometimes I buy audibly. Sometimes I buy the physical copy because it depends. Because I have experienced books in the past where I've not enjoyed the narration. It's not worked for me, but he's definitely a good example. And the reason why I also mention him is because I can remember working for leaders from that had a military service background, and I know some people that were in the service as well, and there's a commonality about how they operate, which is probably why I get on well with them, because I know also that there's certain things they do not tolerate, and I get why, because they're disciplined. They yeah. I mean, I still have links to them. I haven't gotten to speak to them in a while. Sorry, because I'm trying to wrap up, and it's tiredness as well because it's 12 o'clock. I would invite you, if David Goggins is not for you, maybe speak to military friends. I would offer people from the military that have been in the military. Then you'll get some understanding of self-mastery. And I'm going to also mention a philosopher, Marcus Aurelius. I think he's also possibly a good... And the reason why I mention him about self-mastery is what I picked up on, because I'm still learning more about him beyond the quotes I'm reading, is how he operated in order to be successful in running when he was in power, how he actually had to do it, his reality at the time. And because it's always interesting what you take, because I'm a firm believer, take what resonates, let go of the rest. And maybe it was where I was at that time when I was starting to read a bit more about Marcus. But I found it very interesting, his point of view, in order to how he was able to be successful, but also who he inherently was, which, you know, that was very interesting, because ultimately he didn't like people. He didn't like them at all. And actually, it's very interesting. I laugh because I didn't get that. I get it now. I get it a bit more now. Yeah, so that's it. I'm starting to ramble, which I haven't done in a while. I'm going to forgive myself because of the time of night. Anyway, I've got to jump off. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please do like, comment and share. I'd really appreciate you. Like I said, because I'm paying attention more to the feedback I'm getting, it's leading me to make some choices. And if you really do value, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to just start making decisions, which probably mean, you'll see. Anyway, I'm gone, and I'll see you next week.